What's up, Internet? My name is Vice, and welcome to SceneRX, the show where I going to be talking about all things music, pop punk, metal, metalcore, even outside of my normal genre if it's something that I normally would like, or, if I'm interested in it, I will talk about it. As well as video games and all things nerd culture, anime, tech, all that good stuff. And probably because I like to hear myself talk a little bit, maybe, I don't know. But to commemorate the first episode of this project, I am going to be doing a review just to get my feet wet in this new space for me. I'm going to be doing a review of the new album by 3 Days Grace called Alienation. Now, so this record marks the return of Adam Gontier on vocals, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who started it all, whose voice was the soundtrack to the youth of so many people like myself. And before we get into it, we'll do a real quick background just in case anybody doesn't know. Can't imagine how nobody would, but you never know. So Adam left 3 Days Grace in 2013, citing, mental and physical health issues that come from touring life. Having done it myself a little bit, I can definitely say it is not for the faint of heart, especially starting out doing it very DIY style like my band did. And this is, Adam coming in. He's the front man of an incredibly successful band. They got label backing, they got buses, they got bunks, they got green rooms, all this stuff. But even still, being away from home for so long, constantly playing, running, jumping around, singing, screaming, like it takes a toll on the body. And I get, why he would want to leave. I get why it put him in a dark place. It can be rough. But he took a break for a while. And when he left, they had a tour that was scheduled to go on, and they needed a replacement. So they brought in the bass player, Brian Walst's brother, Matt Walst, who was the frontman of a band called My Darkest Day. And he did the tour with them, and then they ended up keeping him on as the permanent vocalist. As 3 Days Grace continued, Adam got back into it himself, doing, acoustic shows, solo acoustic tours, stuff like that, and then formed a project called Saint Asonia with the guitarist for Stained when they went on their break, when the singer guy whose name escapes me at the present moment wanted to he did like country music or something. And Saint Asonia did pretty well. They made 2 records. The records are both pretty good. I enjoyed them. I was a fan of the project. Anything to hear Adam's voice again, realistically. But in 2024, 3 Days Grace started getting super cryptic with the countdowns and pictures and, all the stuff that bands do when they're about to drop something huge, a la, like Linkin Park's return and stuff like that. It turned out we got the news that everybody was hoping for, that Adam had finally returned to 3 Days Grace. And they had announced a new album called Alienation and an upcoming single that would properly showcase how Adam and Matt were going to do vocals, because it was also announced at that same time that they were going to split vocal duty. It wasn't Adam coming back and Matt leaving the band to go back to My Darkest Day or do something else or whatever. It was going to be both of them doing vocals together. And this new single was going to showcase exactly what that would sound like. And it did. Fast forwarding time to whatever day it was, they released the single Mayday. And Mayday was a taste of what 3 Days Grace was going to be. It was a taste of what 3 Days Grace was going to do going forward. And it was awesome. It showcased very well how Adam and Matt can bounce off of each other and really make it work, and just how well their voices blend in certain things, which is something we'll see a lot on the new record as well. But it was really cool to see them coming back, getting going again, and we got an idea of where the new record was going to go. Following subsequent single releases, like No Apologies was the next one that they did, and then Dominate, and then the last single was Kill Me Fast before the record was released. And those 4 songs make up the beginning of the album. It's the front half of the record, starting with the song Dominate. Going into the review here now. So the song Dominate, opening the album, fantastic song right off the bat. It's a very different groove. It's a very different groove, very different feeling from what 3 Days Grace has done in the past. Even with Matt, like from both eras, it was still very different. It didn't feel so much like a 3 Days Grace song as much as it did like a Rob Zombie song or a White Zombie song. And that's not bad in any way. The bass tone on it, especially in the verses of the song, because it's very mellow. There's no guitar. They're just kind of, talking instead of, as opposed to straight up singing, but it works so well. And then bringing the guitar in and everything, the guitar blends in really well with it all too. And it's such a really, it's a good, like, sucker punch to the face way to start the album. The album goes, the next few singles, No Apologies, Mayday, then Kill Me Fast. Then it gets to the back half of the record, going into, the dueling vocals is a big thing with Dominate, with going into the chorus where it's just Adam and Matt both together singing, screaming, I will dominate, and all the other lines in the chorus like that. It'll start off with Adam on top and then with Matt's vocals right underneath, but they mesh so well on one chorus, and then they swap. And then it's Matt is the voice that's on top in the chorus, and then Adam's is right underneath it, but you can still hear the uniqueness of each voice even when they are layered together like that. And they do that on so many other songs. They have another song on the album called Never Ordinary, which is a song about focusing on what makes you different versus wanting to fit in and follow the crowd. The lyrics going into the chorus from the pre-chorus is, why would you want to fit in, or why would you want to blend in when you are drenched in gold? Highlighting or telling the listener to focus on what makes you you, as opposed to what makes you, or why you would want to fit in. Showcasing what makes you you, because you are you. You're the only you that there is, and you're very unique. And it was a really cool message that I think a lot of folks really needed. The next thing to highlight, some of the choices made versus like the guitar tones, the subtle starts to everything. They used a lot of the ride cymbal bell in some of the songs. That was really cool, and it sounded really well. And it didn't cut through the sound like ride bell kind of does sometimes. Think of the way that Teenagers was from the Black Parade record, MCR. And the guitar solo part in the interlude, Bob uses the bell of the ride cymbal, and you can hear it. It's on top. It kind of cuts through a little bit, but not bad. Whereas in songs like this, a song like my favorite song, In Cold Blood, off the album, has a lot of the ride bell in the chorus, and it blends in so well. It fits, it sounds good, it doesn't overpower anything. Such an interesting change to use in a chorus, especially a chorus as aggressive as that. You'd think that a ride bell would be in kind of a slower song or a quieter song, not something that's going to punch you in the face like that. Then they have a ballad song, which kind of really took an interesting direction, almost in a country-esque direction. The song called I Don't Want to Go Home Tonight, which talks about mourning the loss of someone close to you. Is what it sounded like in the lyrics. It's very acoustic guitar driven, but it really lets the voices shine through more within the song, because they're not fighting with the instruments to go out on top. And I think that overall the album was well balanced, it was well mixed, and Adam and Matt are well balanced, and they blend so well together, and I so want to see them on tour. But I think it's a fantastic record overall. Couldn't have asked for a better return to signal Adam Gontier coming back to the fold and showcasing that he still got it, even after all the time away, the time with Saint Sonia, everything, showing why he is still the man and why him and Matt are the rock power duo of the year, maybe even the century. And I don't think that's too much of an exaggerated statement. And if you do, cool, you can have your opinion. It's all gravy, man. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this first episode of SceneRX. Make sure to subscribe, follow, all that stuff, depending on where I post this. Let me know that you want more, and I will do more. I want to focus on local music as well as international, mainstream music. So I would like to do more of this. But that's going to do it for now. Stay safe out there, SceneRX crew, and we will catch you in the next one.